Hello and welcome to Not Complain Enough. I am your podcast host, Karista, and we are on episode 5. Today I am going to be covering something I found very fascinating, sort of about doing your time. And I was having a conversation in passing with a young girl the other day. And she opened up to me to say that she was looking for a new role because the place that she was working at, she just felt that she was doing the same thing over and over again. She wasn't learning anything new. There was no career progression that she could see for her. And there was this kind of, I guess, a very, and probably a very common thing, to be honest, was that her organization, it was sort of this unspoken rule that you need to do your time before you can progress, before you can, learn new things or expand your job, expand what you're doing. And it was just fascinating because I've been in organizations where, yeah, you're seen as needing to do your time before you can progress and before you can do more things, right? I think a lot of people would assimilate to being in those sorts of situations. But I think the interesting thing is in this day and age, we have these organizations that demand the time be put in. They demand that you respect their time frames, that you respect their ideas and ideals of you, putting in your years, and then you're supposedly going to be rewarded for that. And by rewarded is, opportunities for progression, opportunities for promotions, opportunities to apply for different areas or move out of that particular role into something, a bit more challenging. And I find it really fascinating because I just think that we've gotten to this point where the demands of organizations and them wanting people to do their time, wanting to prove themselves, okay, I think people have done that over and over again, but where are you as an organization proving yourself? Where are you proving that you're an organization that people actually want to work for, that they want to put their time in for you, that they want to put the hard yards in? It comes to the other point of it comes to another point of, and what I find fascinating is we've got these young people going into the world of work. And as part of that, they are being shown, that in order to get ahead, you need to put in the hours, put in the time, show that you're committed, show that you'll go above and beyond. And this is expected over and over again. And to the point where people are, doing an extra half an hour here, an extra hour there. And their days are incrementally getting longer. And before they know it, their work days have imposed on their weekends. And therefore, it's kind of this spiraling effect of okay, well, it's a half hour here, it's an hour there, it's a weekend here or there. And before you know it, you're working every single weekend and you're working till 8 or 9 o'clock almost every night of the week. And that's not because you can't get the job done. The thing is, you can get the job done, and you're actually just being provided with more and more work to do because you can get it done. So the really interesting thing I find is, the I guess the benefit of working hard and doing it really quickly is that you get more work. And we see this time and time again. It's like the reward for doing your work quick and fast and efficiently is more work. And that is perpetuated time and time and time again. And, you know, yes, the benefit is that you're getting more work and that you're being seen and that people rely on you and all of those things. But at the end of the day, where does your, you know, where is that boundary of this is work and I actually need to have my own time. I need my own leisure time. I need to have my own things outside of this organization, outside of this workplace. And from what I've observed over the years, the people that are all about work, that literally live, breathe, and are so committed to work, whilst admirable, I think, and what I feel, what I've seen for the most part is it's a response to a very deep seated, and I don't like to use the word trauma because I feel like it's been, used around quite a lot, but it is a type of trauma. It is this whole, being seen to be good, being seen to be reliable, being seen to be the perfect model employee. Everyone wants a gold star. They're all striving to be the best. And I think what we're teaching young people going into these organizations is like, oh, if you just, you basically you put up and shut up and you just keep working and you just keep delivering and you just keep doing all these things, and then that will provide you with the job that you want and the promotion that you're seeking and all of these things that, I mean, is that really the honest truth? Is putting in the hard yards and putting in the time and going above and beyond at the detriment of yourself, at the detriment of your weekends, at the detriment of your social life? Is that actually something that is going to give you the promotion that you need? And if and when you do get that promotion or the part of that job that you're wanting to do, are you actually going to get any more time, or is more and more just going to be asked of you? And I would categorically say that even with that promotion, it's going to be more and more being asked of you. Sure, you might have a team that you get to delegate things to, that you get to micromanage or manage in a way that you've been shown. And this is part of the issue. It's that it's not that we've got these young people that are that are trying to do their best. Everyone's trying to do their best. And I think that a lot of people are, they're wanting to be recognized for their attributes and they're wanting to be, known for their characteristics and things like that. But the issue is that when we're teaching younger people to come in and do those extra hours and do the odd weekend and do all of these things, it means that, sorry, I've just had a cockatoo come and visit me on my balcony, coming to say hi. But yeah, when we're showing these young people how to work in that way, it just perpetuates this really, really bad habit of working harder, working longer, and absolutely obliterating any sort of social life, any sort of weekend or leisure time or doing things outside of the office. And the problem is that, like, it's kind of like a death by a thousand cuts in a way, because what happens is, initially you start off and you're like, oh, I can't make it because I've got lots of work to do. And you're turning down invitations to go out and be social with people, or you're turning down, different events and things. And then what happens is that you get to a point where you're known for working so much that no one invites you to things anymore. Like, those invitations slowly dwindle because people don't bother asking anymore because they know that you, time and time again, will choose work over connecting with friends, with family, or having relationships, a whole bunch of different things. They slowly and surely dwindle. And I think that the people that have gone through it and understand it know where that leads to. My concern is that we have so many younger people going into corporate environments, not knowing any different, not knowing their rights, not knowing what is and isn't okay, not knowing that they can set boundaries and be like, no, I'm not available for that. I work between these hours and that is what I'm contracted to do. If you want me to work overtime, then you pay me accordingly. And, for every young person out there, I implore you to look at your rights, to look up your, in Australia, we have the Fair Work Ombudsman, and each different kind of industry has their own either union or different body of governance that you can actually look up. And, even if that's not Australia, if you're in America or Germany or wherever, I would implore you to look up your rights, to look up what is and isn't okay. And I think to know that at the end of the day, you can always get another job. I think, if anything, the last couple of years has really taught us that, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you have or whatever. Your health and your mental health is worth more than any unforgiving job, any unforgiving organization. You can't heal in the same environment that's making you sick. It is impossible. No matter how much you try and compartmentalize your life outside of that workplace and try and reclaim your, your weekends and things like that, it is really, really fucking hard to do that. And hats off to you if you're able to. But from what I've witnessed and from what I've seen, most people find it really, really challenging to do that. And most people need to leave in order to heal. They need to leave in order to find themselves again. And for the most part, some people have been so traumatized by workplaces that they actually can't go back into those sorts of industries anymore, or those organizations, or those types of environments, because it is unforgivable. It's awful. It's horrible. And I think people get to a point where they're like, I value and honor myself enough to not walk into those environments anymore, to not put up with the bullshit, to not put up with the bullying and the harassment and the relentless workloads that are impossible. Like, this is the thing. Even if you do the extra hour here or there, or the weekend or whatever, you're never, ever going to catch up. Working as an executive assistant, I got to a point where I was like, I did resign to the fact that I would not leave work without I would not leave with my inbox being completely sorted out. It was never going to happen. Every single day, there was more things that would come in. I worked in an organization which dealt with international offices. So you were getting emails 24/7. Nothing stops. And I think that's the point as well. We are in such a hyper-connected world. It's such a cycle of 24/7 that at the end of the day, you're never, ever going to get all of your work done. It's just impossible. It's literally impossible. So stop trying to strive for these impossible things. Sure, you might get it 80% done or 90% done. And there's always those things that are going to be a bit slow burning or whatever. stop trying to get the gold star. Stop trying to do it all. There's no such thing as perfect. No such thing. And anyone that says that they've perfected it is full of shit. I said it. Facts are facts. Yeah, but coming back to like, so this conversation that I was having with this girl about, doing the time. And I just think it's such an archaic way of looking at it, because we've got these organizations that demand people to do the time. Yet if the shoe's on the other foot, well, how are you as an organization doing the time for me as an employee? How are you making this an environment that I don't want to leave? How are you making it worthwhile for me to stay? What are the progressions? What are the, and I'm not talking like, oh, you get a healthier living allowance, and, you get a yoga class and meditation, or you get these holidays, or blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about those things which I would consider like sweeteners. These are sweeteners. These are, and for the most part, actually, a lot of them should just be basic things that are provided. But a lot of organizations will use them as sweeteners to try and entice people into staying in these places. And, quite frankly, I think a lot of organizations really need to take a long, hard look at themselves and try and figure out why it is that they aren't attracting the types of employees that they want, why they are losing staff hand over fist, why people are leaving. Taking a long, hard look in the mirror. And it's not just at an executive level. It is at that middle management level. It is the people who are the in-betweeners. These in-betweeners that are either micromanaging or are spending so much of their time managing up that they're actually treating their staff like shit. And I've seen it time and time and time again. When you've worked in the upper echelons of CEO offices, you get to see those people who like to upwards manage, or they like to upwards manage more so than they actually do even care about their own staff. They care about upwards managing and their reputation of what management thinks of them, as opposed to how they actually have any character. And what's very telling about people is their character of how they treat people that can do nothing for them. And it is very telling. It's very telling. So, yeah, I would implore you, if you're, young or old, starting out in your career, or, halfway through it, or even the latter stages of it, I would implore you to take a look at the character of the people around you. Take a look at the character of the organization that you're working for. Do they really talk and act within the values that they seem to profess, or is it just platitudes? I think it's a really fascinating thing to look at. It's a really fascinating thing to think about too, because I think for the most part, we actually need to be re-looking at how we even look at this whole, you need to do your time before you can get promoted. You need to do your time before you can take on a new, more fun type of activity or type of work. Is that really true? Or are you just bullshitting people into staying in an organization that's really giving them nothing more than platitudes and no action, and dangling a carrot and being like, oh, come on, but we'll give you this and just stay with us? Is it true? It's up to you. I hope this has helped. Please like, follow, subscribe. You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram. Yeah, please. I would love to hear any feedback. Let me know whether this has resonated. Let me know of your experiences. Are you still doing your time, or have you moved on? Let me know. Thanks for listening. Check you next week.